I'm not going to tell you where we're going to go, but I'm giving you specific headings to fly, and you can also follow me through on the takeoff, and we'll go through that together, and I'll talk you through that. And we've got the aeroplane nicely in trim. You can fly the aeroplane, and you can carry on flying the aeroplane until we come back to the airfield. Okay, so I've got that clipped in nicely on that. So if you'd like to commence your internal checks, and you could do some taxiing as well, Louise. I might just get us underway myself before, and then get us going, and then I'll hand the aeroplane over to you. Okay. But you're going to do the start. So, get some ventilation in.
Got aircraft position. Check obstruction.
Yeah, we're all good.
Okay. Park and brake.
We're not using the parking brake, we're just going to use the toe brakes, Louise.
Control wheel. Lock.
Control wheel lock has been removed.
Control wheel full and free. Ignition switch off, key removed. Yep. Instruments checked.
Now, how's the compass and the DI doing? Looks to be okay.
Clear line. Got to double check that once we have suction.
Yep.
Radio and avionics off. Fuel selector valve on.
It's on the floor, and we've got 2 hours fuel. So we've got an hour's fuel and an hour in reserve.
Elevator trim check neutral.
So it's neutral. So neutral equals takeoff.
Master switch on.
On. So flick that on.
And we should have intercom now. You need that microphone a little bit closer, Louise.
There we go.
I can hear you now.
Go.
Absolutely fine.
So fuel quantity indicators, check quantities.
Now, we do not use the fuel gauges. You remember me saying what the fuel gauge is? That's the fuel gauge.
Hours, yep.
Okay.
Anti-collision beacon.
It is on.
It's on. Flaps extended. Pitot heat on.
We don't need pitot heat today.
It's quite warm.
Quite warm.
Master switch off.
So turn the master switch off. Yep.
We're doing the pre-flight inspection. Oh yes, sorry, it's just saying internal. I beg your pardon, Louise. You're quite right.
First fire extinguisher.
Yep, that's in the back of the seat.
External's been done.
Yep.
External continued. That's been done. Pre-engine start.
Pre-engine start.
Documentation,
check,
authorization, weight and balance within limits. Pre-fire inspection done. Passenger briefing. No passengers. Seatbelts on.
Yeah, secure. Close.
Cabin doors closed. Parking brake set.
Toe brakes.
Fuel selector valve on. Circuit breakers.
Circuit breakers are
all in.
Popped out.
Radio off.
Okay. So
engine start.
So what we're going to do is we're going to put the master switch back on.
We're going to have the mixture full rich. I'm going to say clear put, and then you're going to put the key in the starter, Louise, and turn it to the start position, please. I always do that. So smoothly up to 1200 RPM, and you can go through the rest of the checks, Louise.
So, we don't have a flooded engine.
Nope.
Nope. After engine start, RPM set 1200. Starter warning light extinguished.
Yep.
Oil pressure and temps in the green. Suction in the green.
Yep.
Ammeter.
It is charging.
Low voltage warning light.
Is out.
Have one. Magnetos. Check for a live mag.
So, left back to both. Right back to both, please. Yep. And then right. Then back to both. And we're all good.
Flaps up.
Flaps up.
Check symmetry.
And we're going to get them up in stages, Louise. So we're just checking, as you say, that they're operating symmetrically. And now they should be at 0. And I've got the lawnmower in view. standby.
Flight instruments, check and set. Yep.
Okay, yeah, altimeter set on the QFE. Okay.
B and taxi light. It's not night time, so
No,
yes,
we don't need
one.
that.
Taxi lookout.
Yeah, we'll just do a radio check if anybody's on the frequency. Follow me through on the taxiing, and then I'm going to hand the aeroplane over to you. Charlie Victor, radio check, please. We might not hear anything. So, looking at that wingtip there, I'm going to very carefully throttle up, take the nose off the nose leg, take the weight off the nose leg, and just throttle up. And just swing over to the left. Yep, we're clear. So I'll now do the brake check. Close the throttle, test the brakes, all good. Avoid the lawnmower. So right rudder. I don't want to cause Mark to duck as we go by. Okay, so I'm going to do this first bit, UAEs, and then I'll get you to taxi us up to the 06 hold. So we're checking the downwind for runway 24 at a fast walking pace. And the windsock is still, well, it's not quite without life. So the wind is very, very slightly from the north by the looks of it, or the northwest. It's difficult to tell, isn't it? So I'll have a look at the downwind. I think we'll do our power check here. So we're more or less into wind. I'm going to power up to 1700 RPM. So we'll go through this together. So the brakes are holding. Carburetor heat. There's a drop in RPM. So that's all good. Now, if you can do the magneto check again for me. Okay. Ammeter charging, suction registering, T's and P's in the green. The temperature always tends to lag a little bit, UAEs. And we come back to idle. And then we reset 1200 RPM.
Why do we do that bit?
What's that?
Why do we set it to idle and then 1200
Because
again?
if when we come into land, UAEs,
Yep.
if we're carrying power,
Yep.
especially on a short runway, we might not stop in time before we get to the hedge. So it's important that the engine can come back to idle.
So we're
It's
checking.
still providing thrust.
So it's actually idling.
Yes.
Okay.
Indeed. So there's still a little bit of residual thrust coming from that propeller, even when it's idling.
Yep.
Okay, so we've had a good look around. So I'm now going to throttle up a little bit. Because this grass hasn't been cut yet. I'm now throttling back and having a bit of brake because we're going downhill.
Is this 1.8 and 3.6?
It is. I think you remember me saying it's the shortest.
Shortest, yeah.
388 metres.
How does anyone land it?
We do when it's straight down the runway. It's fun actually, but we're always, even more so than on the other runway, we're always prepared to do a go around if we're not 100% happy. So I'll just make a radio call. Golf Charlie Victor, taxi 06 hold. So right rudder, bring around the corner. And we just follow the other brick road, as it were. So I've got the aeroplane set up on the shouldn't we?
Oh, trim.
Trim set for takeoff.
Mixture's rich.
Mixture's rich.
Carb heat set cold.
We'll just cycle it. Just get another little RPM drop there. Happy with that.
Primer locked.
Primer's definitely locked because we've not had to prime the engine.
Fuel quantity is sufficient.
We've checked that.
Fuel selector valve is on.
Yep.
Magnetos on both.
Yep.
Flaps as required. 10 degrees.
10 degrees of flap.
Seats and belts secured.
Mine's still attached. I'm going to close my hatch.
Doors and windows closed and locked. Yep. Pitot heat, we don't need it.
Don't need it.
Instrument and gauges, we're aligned.
Yeah. Because that's important for the exercise we're going to do.
Yep, aligned. We've got that. We've got suction. Com frequencies, we've got that.
Set.
Nav, we're not doing radio nav.
No.
Transponder, standby.
We'll put that to alt actually.
Oh,
So it's all ready for when we
on the runway.
return.
Yeah. Flight controls full and free. Strobe lights.
Control. This is one of all checks are important, but this one is very important, and it's very important that you look to make sure that they're actually operating in the correct sense, which they are.
Strobe lights, do we need them?
We don't need them
We don't
today.
need them. Landing lights as required.
Yeah, we don't need those today.
Brakes, we're on tow
Yeah.
brakes. And departure briefing, we don't have one.
Yeah, well, I'm going to give you a departure briefing. So what if the engine fails? What if we win the lottery in reverse? If the engine goes bang, the first thing I do is lower the nose, attitude, because we need to keep flying, we need to maintain airspeed. So attitude, area, where am I going to put the aeroplane? I'm going to put the aeroplane virtually straight ahead. Whatever's in that field, UAEs, that's where we're going, because we're going to land under full control. It's no use trying to stretch the glide into the perfect field if we end up stalling and not walking away. So whatever's in that field, doesn't matter what it is, we're going to land in that field under full control. And in order to shorten the run, all the flap, all the way, straight away, and we're not even going to even bother to even think about getting on the radio and saying Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. Fly the aeroplane, get it in the field, walk away.
Aviate, navigate, communicate.
That's it.
Yep.
So we're now going to line up. So Golf Charlie Victor lining up runway 06. Having just another little look round. And we're always going to use all the runway. So just a little bit of brake to help us come round. Some cabin air on there. And I'm going to use the best part of the runway, which is on the left hand side. So you can follow me through, UAEs.
Yep.
Just don't restrict anything that I do. that and carry on descending. Do you recognise that fair city below us? I'll put you out of your misery. Unless I've got my navigation very wrong.
5 uniform golf.
Difficult to see. There should be a crooked spire there. So it's Chesterfield. So if you look to your left into that, the church is usually sort of in one of the highest parts. So what we're going to do now, Eloise, is I want you to put the carpet back to cold. I want you to throttle back to 2300 RPM. And I want you to maintain 1,400 feet. So make that 2,400 RPM. 2,400 RPM. Okay.
Golf, uniform golf, turning downwind.
Set the attitude. Because we're climbing, so because we were levelling, that's power attitude trim. Yeah. So we get this. You're not far off now. Just lower the nose a little bit, and then let the aeroplane settle down. So we now need some forward trim, don't we? Yeah. So do the forward trim thing. We're away, put your GPS away, not that we had GPS then, and just never take your eyes off the airfield. So once you've got the airfield, never take your eyes off it. But we're doing great. In fact, our height is coming up perfect for a standard overhead join.
And we're joining for 2-4.
We're joining for 2-4.
2-4 left hand.
Yep. So I'm going to make a call now. Netherthorpe Radio, Golf Bravo Mike Charlie Victor. 3 mile west, 1,600 feet about. Charlie Victor from Mike Hotel, Roger. Who are you? 24 left hand, QFE my airplane 1015. 24 left hand, QFE 1015, Golf Charlie Victor. So, we weren't too far away, were we? No. for me. You don't want to get too far.
We'll leave you to see you on the ground.
Golf Charlie Victor. I don't want to get too far upwind in case a super duper high performance aeroplane is taking off. But when I turn onto the downwind, if I've got this correctly, UAEs will be at 800 feet. And then I'm going to pin that with power. I can start to get ahead of the aeroplane a little bit if I want to. So pre-landing checks, brakes, yep, got pressure, undercarriage fixed, mixture rich. Fuel is sufficient for go around and diversion. Flaps are still up. Instruments, compass, DI, actually in agreement, would you believe it? T's and P's in the green. Card measure is already on hot. Hatch harness secure. So I'm just going to power up a little bit now. holding her off, and we're down. Hard back, just a bit of aerodynamic braking there. And there we are. Well, we've used all the runway, but that's what it's there for. And as soon as we're clear of the runway, Golf Charlie Victor, runway vacated. Flaps up, identified as a flap lever. Okay, you have control, UAEs. Taxi is back. Nice and gently, just to the left a bit here, to avoid the ski jump. That's it. And as you are doing there, plenty of back pressure on the yoke. Just come back on the power a bit, because we're now going downhill. Because of all that sunshine, it's getting nice and dry there. Still got a lawnmower to contend with. Echo Delta is indeed on the ground. I'm so glad about that. So, back on the power a bit more. Okay, gently on the brakes. Gently. And together. Okay, I'm going to take her in from here. Well done. We'll get the air conditioning on. And I'm going to go between that Cessna and that Piper without decapitating the man on the lawnmower. Off. So you've had a good session there, UAEs.
Better than last time.
Once we got to the pretty part of Derbyshire, the visibility got better, didn't it?
Yeah.
Which was rather good. So I'm just bringing around. Between the tie downs. About right. I'm going to go and do some refueling anyway, so that'll be fine. Just take her up a bit more. There we are. 1200 RPM. Should we do our shutdown checks together, UAEs?
Yep.
So 1200 RPM set. We can turn the transponder off. If you could do a magneto check for me, please. Left, back to both. Right, back to both. And then I'm going to turn the radio off. And I'm going to come back to idle. And mixture idle cut off. Key to the off position, please. And master switch off.
There we are, well done. You've had exactly an hour. So we'll call that, just for round figures, we'll call that 13:10 to 14:10, just to keep it simple. It was an hour. Let's just write down some numbers. So we covered quite a lot of ground there, didn't we?
Yeah.
I think that's the first time you've seen Chesterfield from the air.
I think, yeah.
So 13, 10, 14, 10, and we're going to call that exercise, well, you've done everything again. You've done, we'll call it exercise 6 and exercise 9 brackets 2, because your turns onto a specific heading were very nice. They were very good, and for a first session of doing that, really good.
Thank you.
Many people struggle, and we've embedded that the vital importance of separating attitude, power, trim, and power, attitude, adjust, trim. So it's easy, you know, when you're trying to adjust the trim and you involuntarily pull back on the yoke,
Yep.
you lose the attitude. But it's important to get that skill, because it is a skill, of not allowing that to happen. Let the airplane settle down. Don't be in a rush to retrim. Let it settle down. Make sure it's in the correct attitude, and then course by feel. So course big-ish, fine by attitude. So let the airplane talk to you. The nose is coming up. Reset the attitude. Smidge, my favourite word today, of nose down trim. If the nose is going down, reset the attitude. Smidge, nose up trim. Fine adjustments. Fine adjustments, fine corrections. If you make big adjustments, it starts to turn into big corrections, and then they get even bigger, and you're chasing the airplane all the time. And one of the critical things about accurate trimming, UAEs, is that when you fly a sophisticated single or twin, it'll have an autopilot.
Yep.
And this killed somebody quite recently, actually.
I've seen that video.
Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Where she...
Nose down too much, yep.
So if you don't set the trim, so you know what I'm not going to say, don't you? So the autopilot's not intelligent. It's not a genius. It's not a get out of jail free card. Oh, we're in a terrible mess. Let's switch on the autopilot. No. Get the airplane nicely in trim, then switch on the autopilot.
Yep.
If it's all going terribly wrong, switch off the autopilot, and guess what works, UAEs? Guess what works? If it's all going pear-shaped, try this. Let's put everything in the middle. Let's see what happens then. Let's put ailerons neutral, rudder neutral, neutral in pitch, straight and level attitude, control inputs in other words. Let's just put everything in the middle and see what happens. And what will happen is the aeroplane will settle down and it'll start to fly properly. But if you don't give it a chance, it will not. It'll do exactly what you're telling it to do.
Yep.
If you're telling it to fly towards the ground at 230 knots, having not trimmed it correctly, it'll do exactly what you've just told it to do. But it'll also reward you for accurate flying.
Yep.
Sound good? Okay, that's it. Well done.
Thank you.
Looking forward to seeing you next time. And of course, you're now coming in, famous last words, I shouldn't say that. You're now coming into the good weather. So we shouldn't have any more cancellations, hopefully, but this is
Fingers
Britain,
crossed.
so you never know.
Yep.
Alright, let's get out of that bit.